So this tool I'm about to show you is one of the first things I ever did when I made the decision in my mind, not to anyone else but just in my mind, that I wanted to smoke less weed. And at this time I was smoking a lot, just for any reason, just always smoking. And I realized that if I wanted to smoke less, I wasn't actually going to be able to tell that I was, because I was smoking so much. Like, what's the difference between smoking a cone every 10 minutes and smoking a cone every 20 or every 15? It's really not noticeable to you. Like, especially when at this point in my life I had like more weed than I could smoke in my life. Or maybe not my life, but you know, like more weed than I could smoke. I wouldn't be able to go, okay, I'm only smoking this much, I'm only smoking a half bag in this amount of time. It just didn't work for me, because I would always just dip into that cookie jar of, you know, my jar of weed. And so I needed a way of finding out if I was smoking less, and then eventually figuring out why I was smoking less so I could do more of those things. So I'm recording this with my phone, so I don't have my phone to show you a demo, but it's actually an app. It's called Hempless. So I printed some sheets out of this. Basically, you can see the name here. It's an app anywhere. You can get it right now. It's just got a button here on your phone. The screen's green. You press the button when you have a cone, and that's it. Just record your cone, and it collects data on it, and you can then analyze that data and see what's going on. So it gives you number one thing it gives you is the T- or T+ in this case. Basically, every time you press it, the screen goes gray. So the button's gray and the screen's green, and then it switches around. Basically, when the screen's gray, it's a T-, meaning you've got to count down to your next cone. So it basically gives you an average depending on how often you've been having a cone in the past. So once you start collecting the data, it'll tell you, okay, there's 4 minutes until your next cone, and you'll be smoking the exact same amount. If you press it right when it goes from T- to T+ and starts counting up, you'll be able to moderate and smoke the exact same amount. So even if you don't want to cut back, you can still use this. So if you just want to smoke the same amount, you don't want to keep smoking more and more, because as we know, it's very hard not to slowly increase your weed over time. That's just the natural thing we want to do. So you can press it then, or you can basically wait until it passes the T- countdown, and then it starts counting up, and it'll say you're, say, 4 minutes or 1 hour over the time since when your last cone would have been according to your past habits. And that's really helpful, because you can go, great, I'm winning. I'm an hour past my last cone. If I smoke now, I'll actually be smoking less than I was smoking before. And it feels really great to be able to press the button knowing that you're smoking less and enjoy your cone, compared to if you weren't tracking and you didn't know you were smoking less, but you still felt guilty about that cone because you were like, fuck, I need to be smoking less, but actually you are smoking less, and this app's going to tell you. So you can see this is my personal app. I haven't used it in a long time because I don't smoke anymore, but you can tell from the past that I've actually actually got over 1,000 cones logged on this. So I used this honestly. I didn't press it without punching a cone. I literally 1,000 times I pressed this button every time I had a cone, and it told me a lot. It really, really helped. So I hope one day it can help you as well. So basically, just to give you the overview, you got this is when it starts. You haven't started your session yet. This is what it'll look like when you open the app normally. Imagine it's green. Ignore the ads. It doesn't actually affect you being able to use the app. Normally it doesn't. There's no pop-ups where you can't use it or anything. Basically, now it's gone. Okay, so you press the button. Now T-minus 9 seconds till you're, hang on. Yeah, so T-minus 9 seconds to your next cone. So it's been 10 seconds since your last cone. So it also collects points and stuff, gives you nice little motivational words. Not yet, don't do it yet. Basically, you look at your app if you're gonna have a cone, and you can use that to decide, do I want to have a cone now based off of my data. It'll tell you your averages. At this point, it's a 20-second average. I was just doing it for a demo. 2 cones, and it tells you how many in a day. It'll tell you, so once you start collecting data, the first number will be how many cones you have in a day on average, and then it'll tell you how many cones you've had that day. So if you've had, let's say your average is 5 and you've had 10, it'll go 5/10, and you'll be able to tell, okay, I'm going over my average, which means I'm overusing. But if it's 5/2, then that's great. You still got cones in the day. If you want to stay the same, you're doing well. If you want to cut back, that's good. So basically, this is what it looks like. Imagine a gray screen with a green button when there's still a countdown to your next cone. You're not supposed to have a cone yet. It's still, on average, you wouldn't have had one yet. Then it'll tell you, it'll give you that T+ again. So you're 10 seconds past your last cone. Green screen, gray button. That means you can press it and you've made progress. It'll give you a little score, tell you how many points you're on. You accumulate, it's all data collecting. It basically evaluates your points based on how you're doing. Then if you press the history button at the bottom, that'll tell you more of your data. The first thing that will pop up will be this. It'll give you your 7-day totals. So let's say you use, right now it doesn't have the data collected because I'm just doing a demo, but you can see basically, let's say you've used more for a period and then you've used less, you'll be able to tell. If you've had a day where you've used a lot, it sort of spikes up. Then it's got the 7-day frequency. I never quite understood that one. It's a little bit confusing, but hey, if you use it and you figure it out, or you have used it and please let me know in the comments, because I really want to know what this is. This app, hempless, isn't just for weed. There's one called drinkless for alcohol. There's one called vapeless for vaping or stinging, and it's like I'm using the vape one right now, and like the hempless worked for me, so why wouldn't the vapeless thing work? The only problem is you hit it much more often. So then it'll give you your historical log. So basically, you can see here that you basically the times you've used it, the space between the cones, you can also go in and press the buttons to change, to put in, like, backtrack. If you've had a cone, you've forgotten to press it, you can always go back, put in the time roughly. It doesn't have to be that exact, but it's better that you put it in than that you don't, because it'll collect the wrong data and tell you the wrong thing by the trends. You can edit ones that you've already pressed if you've messed them up, tell you your total cones in a day, and then keep scrolling down. It's basically gonna show you, so this is one day, 8 in this day apparently. This is, I don't know if this is correct data for me personally. I've just pressed it sometimes to be able to show you guys. And you can scroll through the days, you can look back pretty much forever and be able to see, oh, on this day I had this many cones. And it's interesting to be able to tell. You can go, you can look back and you can go, oh, I wonder, do I punch more cones when I'm in this place or in this place? Or did I punch more cones when think of a good example. Like, I used to stay at different people's houses, and like my girlfriends, my brothers, things like that. And when I did, I could look back and I could go, well, the times when I'm there, I use more cones. Or here's an example, on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, you can look at your Saturday, Sunday cones. Are they more than my weekday cones? Maybe that's telling me something about why I use, and you can think about that. It's up to you to figure the rest of that out. That's hempless for you. So it'll give you all that really, really helpful data. It's really, really great once you start using it. You get the hang of it. It makes it really easy to be able to tell, just for example, how long you spend, like, the space between cones. That's your average. Which is here. Your average there. If, like, I've had times in my life where I was literally at, like 2 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes between cones. Pretty bad. Like for days or weeks to go a cone every 2 or 5 minutes. Sometimes, it would be like I'd punch like 4 cones in a row, and then I'd wait 10 minutes or something, and I'd be like, oh, it's not enough, I punch a 5th. And it's hard to tell, like, how often am I really having one cone. And I'd always have the cones the same size. That's really going to help with your data. But you can actually tell the average that you wouldn't be able to tell without collecting this data from the app. Also, like, how many cones you've had in a day. That's another thing that people get wrong a lot. They go, like, I've been to, like, for example, like, I've spoken to stoners who quit, and they've been like, oh, bro, I was having like 200 cones a day, like every day or something. And they would show me, like, oh, they're fucking like normal cones, like, or proper rompies, bro. I'd punch like 200 rompies a day. They were completely wrong. They were just, what they thought they were doing is completely different to what they were actually doing. And like, this will tell you, Sometimes I had like 20, 30 cones in a day. I don't think I've ever gotten over 100. Like, you gotta be pretty, like, I don't know what you've got to be, but to have 100 Ks in a day, that's a struggle. Yeah, this app has worked wonders for me, and if you can just try it, even if whatever situation you're in, if you want to smoke less, if you want to smoke the same amount, even if you want to smoke more weed, like my goal is to smoke more weed, make sure that fucking screen is green before you press it, because if it goes gray and you haven't pressed it, you're fucked. You're smoking less weed. You need to smoke more weed, so you press it when it goes green, and it can help, like, if that's really what you want to do. So really, it's just data collecting. It's an app on your phone, super easy to use. Press the button. It's a little bit annoying at the start, going, oh fuck, I have to press my hempless when I have a cone, but eventually you get used to it. It's not so bad. It's really quick, and I really hope that it helps you start your journey in smoking less weed or quitting weed. Or if you're already on your way, I really hope that this tool gets you there faster without you having to put in any extra effort or willpower into resisting picking up your bong and lighting it, having a cone. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you use it, and see you next time, probably tomorrow. Bye.